Yeah, in the early days of the internet bubble, it was said, and this is, I know, an oversimplification, but it was said that all you needed was a few PowerPoint slides and a half-baked business plan, and you would get lots of money. Then came the crash, and now move forward to 2007. The world is awash with liquidity, even more liquidity than at the time of the internet bubble. So my question to you is, have we learned? Have you guys learned? Do you still look just conceptually at business plans? And is it possible to start raising money that way, these days in the real world? And sort of summing all of that up, what is the best way for an entrepreneur to really start looking for serious money in your view? At the conceptual level, sort of after 2 years of sustainability and modest growth, what is it?
So let's break that up. Both really good questions. Really good questions. We're clearly seeing another bubble in certain sectors today. Here's the good news. It's only in certain sectors. In the late 90s, it was everywhere. The entire market was bubbling up and ready to explode in all sectors and the internet was leading that. And in the venture business, we saw it everywhere. We are definitely seeing it today. We're seeing what we call consumer internet today. Consumer internet today, somebody can walk in with a couple of PowerPoints and a Me Too idea, and there's plenty of money to fund them. What's interesting about that is in the late 90s, it was understandable why that was happening. There was a rush towards liquidity in the public markets. People didn't have to take any risk in the development of these ideas or products or companies. And they could cash out within a year or two for huge returns. Today, that's not the case. These Web 2.0, as they've been referred to, consumer internet companies, have no liquidity. Other than YouTube, which created a big splash when it got purchased, and I would argue Google may at some point question whether that was a smart thing to do. But other than that, we haven't seen big numbers out of any of the Web 2.0 companies. What we see is a different phenomenon. And that phenomenon is we're seeing a lot of liquidity in the $50 million range, outside of the venture capital area, in the angel financing area, where for a few $1,000,000 you can test an idea and see if they will come. Forget the business plan. The business plan is irrelevant in Web 2.0, and the reason it's irrelevant is you can monetize these companies by selling advertising on Google. So Google becomes the platform for Web 2.0 business models, and all you need to do is see if you put yourself out there, if people will come. And if enough people come, you can then monetize them on the prospects of advertising and continued growth. And those companies in each category end up getting bought in these food fights that are being between Google, Microsoft, Yahoo, and others who feel like they need to have one of everything in order to stay even with each other. The gap, though, is that it's very hard now to put $5, $10 million worth of venture capital to work in the consumer internet world and have any strong conviction that you're going to find liquidity at the other side. So it's a strange bubble, but we're definitely seeing a bubble in it. At Kleiner Perkins, we've done very little investing in consumer internet and Web 2.0. Very little for that reason. But your insight is right. Our peers are doing it like crazy, and it is creating some tensions. We're not seeing that in all markets. We're not seeing that in energy. We're not seeing that in life sciences. We're not seeing that in healthcare. We're not seeing that in enterprise security and internet to security. So there are lots of areas that we are not seeing a bubble in. But if you're talking about internet consumer, you're right. Your second question, though, had to do with when to seek institutional financing or professional investors. My sense is there are two ways to look at that. And one, I understand, was discussed a couple of days ago, and that is who do you need to help build your business? Forget their money for a moment. The good news about a lot of professional investors, not most, but a lot, is they bring very relevant experience, ecosystems, and connections to help you build your business. You may very well want one of those people to be a partner in your business with you. That's one reason to bring in professional investors. The second is you see an opportunity for acceleration of your idea, ahead of your business model, ahead of your ability to bring in cash flow, and that becomes an imperative for building your business in a competitive environment. Those two things I would look to as being the primary indicators to me of whether or not I was going to seek in professional institutional investing.